Hey everyone, welcome back to the Nakama Podcast. I'm your host Sal. No Cruz and no Peralta. They're busy doing stuff, but I do have a special guest, someone that I ran across at Fanime, and I want to say GalaxyCon.
Uh, I don't think I was at GalaxyCon yet.
No,
I'll just say yeah.
okay, but yeah,
But
we ran.
definitely Anime and probably Sack Anime and some of the other Cali cons that's like slipping my brain right now.
Yeah, and the person you're hearing is Boykins Cosplay. Really good cosplayer that we met at Fanime. Definitely one of my favorites when it comes to new people that I interact with, because Fanime is definitely the spot where everyone just kind of goes to hang out. It's like a family reunion, even though none of us are related.
Yeah.
Because I know you're friends with some of the cosplayers that I talk to, like Pepper Jack, even though I barely interacted with her. And then I can never pronounce her name, but she does Monster Hunter stuff. Call me Cosplay. I know I said that wrong.
Yes. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, they're both fantastic. Fun fact: Pepperjack, she's actually the one who made my Bowser cosplay. So if anybody just happens to be scrolling across my Instagram or any of my socials or TikTok and just sees like my Bowser armor just all done up super well, that was all Pepperjack. I have a story behind that like I can explain later, but yeah,
No, definitely we want to
it's
hear that. She does great stuff. Definitely for Elden Ring.
Yes, my gosh, like she like adores that cosplay, but at the same time, depending on the weather, she hates it. But I know that was an armor she was super proud of, like finishing and making and sanding and painting like just right. Like that was something she put every bit of her talents into. That like I'm happy for her that she was able to get it done, and her brain just amazes me. Like the different type of cosplays and armors and stuff she's all just able to make like in a span of just nothing, or sometimes just makes it seem like, okay, so it's just a few shapes. I could do that in a few weeks. And I'm like, I couldn't. I
Yeah,
couldn't. I would see just like one part of the leg armor and I'd be like, no, I'm not doing that. Like at
no,
all.
100%. She definitely was hyping people up because at Fanime, I remember a group of people being like, "There's a really good characters, Radon, right?"
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
we're
were
done.
like, "There's a really cool Radon over here," and then I was like, "Shit, you don't say it. Let me go see." And then I
Yeah.
happened to see as she was gonna do the cosplay competition, because I know she was also doing. There was a bunch of people there that I knew. What's her name? DB Nibbles was there. Same
Yeah.
with I'm forgetting her name. And it sounds terrible, but there were a lot of people there.
I think I know another one of my friends, Poppy Lop cosplay. I think she was also entering, or I think one of the judges. I can't remember. But yeah, so many of our friends were all entered, and props goes way out to them because I wish I was at that level. I wish I was at that craftsmanship level to just enter in on that.
I don't know. Speaking about, since we're talking about cosplay, I ran across you as you were Barrett from Final Fantasy VII,
Yeah,
and then I think the next day or one of the days I saw you as dang, I forget the guy's name from Naruto,
a
Killer Bee,
killer beat. Yep,
Killer Bee, and I thought you did great on both of them. You were
thank you,
spot on for both, and I was just like, God damn, that
thank
gun
you.
must be heavy.
It's actually speaking of Jackie again. So Pepper Jack, she also made Masami Hana for me. It's very, I think it's very top heavy. It's definitely very sturdy to hold on to and like swing around and stuff, but it is very top heavy just because like it's mostly made of like foam, but the heavier pieces on it. So like the end of the staff, where the skull is, and then like the like the shark teeth on the front is all like I think that's foam clay. Yeah, foam clay that she like made and glued and painted all herself. Like it's definitely great, and I love having it. But there are times where it is top heavy, and it makes it a fun like arm day for me whenever I'm like posing with it.
Yeah, I bet, dude. When you were Barrett, I was hella stoked because you don't see very many Barretts out there in the wild.
Yeah.
It's always clouds. It's always clouds and Tifas.
Well, yeah, I always have a blast with it. For Barrett, a friend of mine who, oh my gosh, who cosplays is Cloud and grew up a huge Final Fantasy fan, not even just Seven, but just a huge just fan of the whole franchise. And I remember he knows how like I love getting into character for my cosplays and like kind of creating banter and stuff with people just in general whenever I am in the cosplays. And he was like, I have one character I feel like you'll do a great job on and you'll have a blast doing. His name is Barrett. It's from Final Fantasy. And like I heard of the franchise and like I had seen the gameplay, but growing up, I wasn't that much of a fan of like turn-based combat fighting games or just RPGs. So that was just something that like turned me away from the franchise for like the longest. But when the remake was coming out, he told me all about it, showed me the graphics. Like he lent me his DVD copy of Final Fantasy Advent Children.
The movie.
I watched that, and then I watched I think it was like a YouTube compilation of Barrett and Marlene on YouTube, like when the game that like first got released. And after like I want to say maybe 2 seconds in, maybe 2 minutes in of seeing like how Barrett was with Marlene and seeing like I was in the movie, and just I could easily tell like he's so like, you know, like I'm the leader of Avalanche, like everything that I do is for the crew. For Avalanche is to beat the hell out of Shinra and, you know, to just save the world. But I could also tell when he came home and he was with his daughter, like that whole demeanor of being a badass and such like just a tough grumble guy, like washes away and he becomes like the world's best like girl dad. And
yeah, 100%.
How he was with her, it melted my heart in an instant. I like paused the compilation, like not even like I said, barely even starting the video. Texted him in all caps, I'm in. Like, when do we, and then immediately started like, when do we start on the gun? You know, like, how do we go about this? Like, I need tips, tools, like, let's make this as painted. I am 100% in on all of this. And yeah, and since then, like, the cosplay has definitely grown and improvements on different aspects, whether it's the coat, or just the gloves that I have for it, and just etc. Like I plan on updating the gun even more than what it is already. So I've had an absolute blast with Barrett.
So, would you say that's your favorite part of cosplay is the planning part or putting it all together? Like, what brings the most joy for you when it comes to cosplay?
For me personally, it's when I get the chance to bring all the cosplays to life. Because for me, like, I grew up wanting to, like, be an actor, and of course, I'm still aspiring to do that. But as a kid, like, I would buy all my favorite, like, superheroes costumes and wear them till, like, the seams completely, like, busted, and, like, I could not wear it anymore with every one of my favorite superheroes. And, like, I just always had a blast with just the idea of, like, becoming these characters and really bringing them to life. And for me, like, it's the fun challenge of studying those characters, like similar to an actor preparing for a role. So like with Killer Bee, for example, in high school, I sucked at freestyling, excuse me. I could not rap, freestyle, anything to save my life, like at all. Like when it came to just high school and everyone's, you know, beating on the table, you know, creating their own beats and everyone's like, oh, are you jumping with your own, like, you know, freestyle? Like, nah, I'm sitting in the back
Dude,
being
yeah, I'd
like,
be
yeah, you
terrible.
did it. But yeah, so for me it was the fun challenge of like, okay, like I get to like bring such a awesome character who has so many amazing layers, and like when it came to, or that I myself relate to when it came to, you know, dealing with trauma, that like, you know, sure, a lot of people hate you, you know, for being a nerd, and you know, however, you know, neighborhood I always grew up in, and being kind of ridiculed for being a nerd and for liking the things that I did. And, you know, and for Killer Bee, like having that egg thrown at him and having him be like, what's this, on egg? Oh, that's his breakfast. Yo, chicken show. Like, and just continuing with his day and not caring. That was something I was like, I relate to that 100%. But for me, it was also the challenge of like, okay, like, here's a chance to really like test my brain. So to be at a con for what, 9, 10, 11 hours, however long the con is for that one day that I'm Killer Bee, like I get the challenge of my brain every second of the day of rapping and rhyming, rapping and rhyming everything that I say. So like, even if it's something as simple as like, hey man, how's your day? My brain has to work now a mile a second to think of like, something that rhymes a day and to make the rhymes sound good. And even if it sounds corny or just terrible, it's still fine because again, it's Killer Bee. Like
Yeah,
we also
Killer Bee.
understand, like there's some bars or some raps that he has that's a little questionable or sometimes just a little shitty or a little corny sometimes. But yeah, but that's something, yeah, like I just enjoy so much is that like with every one of these characters that I get to bring a new side out of myself and also challenge myself each and every day. I put on those cosplays and do the best I can to even also just represent those cosplays and those characters that that the manga creators or the artists themselves have just created and written to be to the extravagant and like deeply layered characters they are. I love every aspect of just studying those characters, studying their mannerisms, studying how they would walk, how they would talk, how they would interact with someone from that same universe, or even if it was someone outside of that universe and they were just walking around the street or down the street. It's like, how would they interact with, with like, just seeing someone just walk across the street or, someone litter, like if you're a parent, like it's just different concepts like that. I just love studying in general.
So you brought up how you used to be ridiculed for liking nerdy stuff. Would you say cosplay helped you kind of get over that trauma, or
Of course.
how else
Of
has it
course.
helped you?
Of course. Oh, it's helped me beyond, oh my gosh, beyond comparison. I wish I could I had the chance to tell everybody like to just get into cosplay, just try it out. It is one of the most welcoming communities in the world to me, and then at the same time one of the most freeing because it's amazing to like grow up how like in all the different neighborhoods and have cosplay be such a melting pot of so many of us who like all grew up the same of being bullied or being made fun of or just anything in general that like people would look at and think of like, ew, that's weird. You like anime, you like that Japanese cartoon stuff. Like, that's so weird. You're such an outcast, or again, superhero stuff, or it's like you're into Spider-Man or Batman, any of those characters, like man, grow up. Like that was supposed to be left behind by the time you hit 9, basically. Like by that point, you're supposed to be grown and out of that. So to be walking around a con and have someone like the same, even this niche cosplay or same niche anime or movie or show or just one character that had like 48 seconds or maybe 2 minutes and 34 seconds of screen time in the entire anime or in the entire movie, and that's it. We never see him again. And that was something, yeah, like I feel everyone should definitely give a try with cosplay, and it's just incredible that like to be able to see like-minded individuals like yourselves at cons makes it so much better. And even in media itself, like seeing people of similar complexion or similar color as me, or who have like the same kind of ticks or maybe the same sort of like birthmark or scar, whatever it may be that like you yourself grew up with and you had to deal with, and seeing so much like representation in so many different levels of so many different characters all throughout media and how much it's growing continuously now, it's, oh my gosh, it's incredible. I love every bit of that, and I'm riding that train till the wheels fall off.
Yeah, same. I mean, I don't cosplay, but I do enjoy people who put the time and effort into cosplaying. Like, I definitely, not to hate, but the people who buy like, just it's random superhero costume and it's just like a onesie. Like, sure, you're in the spirit, but it's like it would be a lot cooler if you, tried a little bit instead of just buying stuff. But I know some people don't have the time or the skill to, put something together. So, I mean, I like you said, cosplay's for everyone. That's just a little thing that I'm just like, come on, bro. At least throw in some leather, make it look like you tried.
Yeah, I get that. I can totally understand where like I know even with me when I bought my first Miles Morales like cosplay, like I bought just the normal bodysuit when Into the Spider-Verse was coming out, and when I like wore that suit, like there was just certain changes I made to it, so I ended up getting some water shoes, like completely like ripping and cutting the seams out of it, gluing the soles like to the bottoms of it, um getting some like 3D puff paint from Walmart and completely like taking the time to get some cardboard in between the hands and the arms and the legs, really like slowly detail like paint every web line that was on that suit. It took hours upon hours, but man, did I love the way like the texture just looked and felt on it. It was great. I loved every bit of that.
So what are some of your favorite characters to cosplay?
Well, I always love answering this question. So I say for me, it goes back to like what I was saying, like every single one of them, I love cosplaying because of the challenge it always gives me. Like for Black Panther, like I love being able to study like a wriggled and like just kingly royal figure and just powerful figure like King T'Challa. And try my best to like try and bring that character even into my everyday life, whether it's, being much more outspoken about things or being even more just open about topics, talking, or just again like just speaking with my voice and just being taking much more of a leadership role than ever before. And any opportunity I can. And it's always been incredible to do so. But yeah, but for me, like I'd say with people's fan favorites, it'll always be Killer Bee, Barrett, and it's slowly becoming my Bowser in the third place. But definitely like the Killer Bee and the Bowser is definitely something like a lot of people always enjoy seeing, and I always enjoy doing as well. But yeah, but I love each and every single one of my cosplays dearly for Killer Bee, studying and staying in character of rapping and rhyming everything I have to say for 10 to 11 hours or 8 to 11 hours at a con, completely scratching and losing my voice just doing that. Or if it's
Mhm.
my Barrett doing the same, like completely like destroying my voice. And it makes me understand when doing Barrett, like when a voice actor is in the booth and having to be like, oh, okay, I understand why, like after doing this voice for 5 hours straight of going, it can just be like
Killer.
just
Yeah.
torture after a while. So yeah, so and then for Black Panther, it's the same thing of like studying like more of the South African language itself and the dialogue of Xhosa, and like being able to speak and understand more of that dialect just for myself at the same time, but also study that and alter my voice as much as I can to sound more South African when doing the character, and just bringing that to life as just best as I can with every like Child on Me with our charity group like in the past, or even just at cons, just any opportunity I get to just interact with somebody and try and give them that one-on-one experience every time is just it means so much to me every second.
Yeah. Rewind. You said charity group. So you've gone to charity events as Black Panther?
Yeah, so
Well,
currently,
that's pretty cool.
so even here in Reno, I am one of the directors and one of the co-founders of a nonprofit organization known as Cosplay for Kindness here in Reno, Nevada, in which we go to hospitals, birthdays, fundraisers, you name it, all dressed as your favorite superheroes, princesses, Jedi masters, and just everything in between, just kind of bringing that Disney magic, if you will, to just our local community in Northern Nevada. And it just, every opportunity we get to just meet what I'll call the golden few or the golden child, who's like who will like run up to you and ignore all the other characters, ignore their surroundings, ignore everything that's going on, like, and just completely charge at you like a wild dog on a leash when they're like with their parents. And we'll see the child run over when we're walking around as a group and hear 60 yards away or something, from some child like being like Black Panther or Spider-Man, whoever their favorite character is that they're screaming for. And they'll run over and hug us, and we'll have that opportunity, like I said, of them being like, I've watched, all 48 projects. I've watched your movie 8,000 times and I have 100 questions. And we're like, kid, I've studied this. I have 2,000 answers. Ask away. Like, trust me. So it's always meaningful to meet, those amazing kids, no matter what the age is. Um, just every opportunity we get, just because, yeah, it just means a lot, because we ourselves can also see ourselves in that child and seeing that same glow that we had, whether it was us going to Disneyland for the first time, or again having our 6-year-old birthday and having our parents, find some rando to dress as Spider-Man or dress as Batman or Wolverine or whoever our favorite superhero was at the time. And just to have them come by and be like, hey, I'm here to see you for 10 minutes. Those 10 minutes felt like 4 hours to us. Like it felt like time had just stopped and it was just you and them. So yeah, and having those opportunities and seeing kids like that just all over here in Nevada, it's absolutely incredible. It warms my heart.
Yo, so you keep saying Nevada. You're not from California?
I'm not. That's something a lot of people
Crazy.
always. Yeah, that's something a lot of
Dude, I
people
thought you were like a
always.
San Jose local or something.
No, that's something a lot of people always get confused by. They always think they're like you're based out in Sac, right? And I'm like, no, Reno. I just come to Cali as much as possible for photo
Damn.
shoots, cons, photo shoots, literally you name it. I'm constantly in California. Like I love going there. Eventually I plan on moving to California in the near future, but right now I have to clear up a few things as far as bills and just etc. before I can really like finish planting the rest of the seeds I have planted here in Reno where I'm from. Before I decide to move to Cali. But yeah, that's something a lot of people are always like, you're based out in
Yeah.
Sac, right? I'm like, no, I at this point, as many times as I do come to Cali, I'm probably just waiting for a letter in the mail for him to be like, you visited enough. You're considered a resident at this point. Like, here's
Yeah,
your
no,
state tax.
no joke. I thought you were a San Jose local like the rest of us because I think Pepper Jack and them are they're from San Jose. Either if they're not from San
Yeah,
Jose, they originate from California. Because I know, I think Cosmic Peaches went to Washington or Oregon for school,
yeah.
something. And then I know there was another cosplayer that I talk to every now and then. Apparently, she's like learning to fly planes, and I'm just like, what is going on? Again, I thought all of us were just an hour to an hour and a half drive away from each other.
Exactly. Yep. That's just the same thing. I'm always in constant text with all the other this Cali cosplayers I all know, and they're always on me every damn near almost it seems like every month, being like, "Yo, when you move to Cali," and I'm like, I still got rent, I still got to pay, I still got a few things I got to take care of here. Like, give a brother a minute, please. Like, I promise y'all, when the time comes and I have enough to move, all y'all will get put on speed dial or just a giant FaceTime call, and I'll be like, so here's some apartments I'm looking at. What's the areas? Oh, how's that gonna look? Like, yes, no, maybe. Let me know the areas. But yeah, but everyone is constantly on me about moving here it seems like every month.
No, again, I'm just like, you keep bringing up Nevada, and it's just like, is that like what is that? That's not
Yep,
California.
yep. Born and raised here in Reno.
Crazy. Moving back to the cosplay, so we can start talking about these animes. What is one tip you would give people? And then what is not like a tip, but it's kind of like, you know what? You should stay away from rhinestones. Like, what is like one of the downsides to cosplay?
I say when joining, do it, but at the same time, like do some research. Like do as much as you can to uh hit up some certain cosplayers or send them an email or get a DM message of like, hey, how did you make this armor? Or how did you go about this thing or sewing that thing or doing this or that? Like and even if you don't want to do that, you can look up YouTube. You have thousands upon thousands of different places to go and look up or ask. And get so many helpful tips for when trying to sew and craft an armor piece or a sword or a hilt or something that like because it's something so minor that you can just start off small and then work your skills up to get even more that I'm more impressed by it, shall I say. But yeah, I'd say when you join, definitely do it. But at the same time, like do your research. Like look up some places, look up some cosplayers. If you guys even want to go to my page, look at all the cosplayers I follow, and in mutuals with. You guys can easily DM all of them. I do the same of asking them how they sold this or how they went about this thing or that thing, and have all the tips in the world of decades of knowledge of sewing from being a kid to knowledge that they just know now recently on how to craft. And yeah, they'll be able to point you in the right direction, which is incredible now because I wish I knew that before. And the downside, I would say social media sometimes. I can say it can be social media.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying stay away from social media, but I am saying be aware that sometimes it cannot be the best place to follow. Like, they're the best methods to follow. Because sometimes, like, we understand cosplay is a hobby, and like it's a stepping tool for a lot of us to, like, get to where we're going, whether it's acting or modeling or just craftsmanship in general, or just, again, nothing, and just trying to meet amazing people. Regardless, like, there's a lot of, like, amazing stuff that comes from cosplay in general. But I can say it's sometimes social media. That social media can sometimes hide other amazing cosplayers and some of their talents, and show it where, like, to do cosplay you have to be at least 6'2" and above. You have to have a slim waist. You have to have, curvy hips. Like I said, a slim waist, maybe a 7-pack, not a 6-pack, because, a lot of people can, like, hide a 6-pack. You have to be more unique. So, like, a 7 or an 8-pack is really something that'll really set you apart. And, other methods like that, like, don't follow that. Like, that is not, like, those are people who have great genes and have been, again, dieting and working out and doing everything they can. Like, they have a great strategy that's only been working for them. Don't follow and think, like, well, since I don't look like, since I'm not as slim as slim as, like, Hinata Hyuga from, like, Naruto, since I'm not as, like, or not even her, just, like, since I'm, like, not as slim as, like, Tsunade and don't have, like, big boobs, I guess I just can't ever cosplay her. Like, no, you can cosplay anyone. Like, no one cares. It's cosplay. Like, anyone who judges, like, someone about that, like, I'm sorry, in my opinion, you don't speak for us, and you're not welcome in the cosplay community. You yourself are not a cosplayer. Like, if you're like, I don't know, like, I feel like you have to feel like you have to have, like, a really slim waist if you're going to cosplay, X
Any
character.
females from
Any
anime?
female character, basically, exactly, like any female character. Like, you have to look like that. Like, no, who cares? Um, so yeah, so I would say just be aware that social media can sometimes be a little toxic. But again, like I said, people in the comments section who are like, oh, it's fucking, like Killer Bee, but he got more burnt or whatever. Literally, like funny comment. I'll just call them funny because I'm like if you're gonna come at me, just make it creative. Make sure it's funny, please. Like, oh, they get annoying after a while where you're like, 7 other comments said the same thing as you, dog. Like, you're not original. Like, be funny. Come on. Uh, but yeah, but I can say that, yeah, when it comes to social media, like, don't look at, like, those who, have a chiseled jawline and a 6-pack and a slim waist and, firm butt and a man huge boobs. Like, don't look at that and think, like, I have to look like that to cosplay. You don't have to. Like, it's just the social media thing of like modeling. It just shows sometimes, like, the highlights of it. But of course, if you do more diving into other characters, or again, just keep diving into cosplay itself, you'll find other like-minded people who are, like, just as big, if not bigger than you, and they look amazing in those cosplays. Oh my god! So yeah, never be discouraged by any of that.
Yeah, I agree 100%. So cosplay originates from anime. Well, not originates, but it's inspired by anime. What got you into anime?
It was Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh was the first ones I watched and, like, enjoyed and just enjoyed watching at the time. But I would say Naruto and Dragon Ball Z was the two that, like, really, like, got me into, like, just loving the whole genre and really just diving fully into this. Dragon Ball Z was actually the anime that actually made me want to work out. So I was watching. No, I'm sorry. I rented a movie from one of my childhood friends. It was
Rented.
Yeah, I know, right? It's crazy word to use now. It was the DVD copy of Revenge of Cooler. It was the first one. It was Dragon Ball Z Revenge of Cooler, or Cooler's Revenge, and just because I hadn't watched it or owned it yet. And he loaned it to me, and, like, when like Cooler had got, like, to its final form, and, like, had, like, sought Goku, like, into, like crater into the water, and he came up for, like, he was a super looking swole before he, like, just kind of Kamehameha. Like, right before that, like, that shot, I remember, like, something just clicked in my brain and, like, a light switch, and just out of nowhere, I was like, I want to look like that. I want to look like that. That looks awesome. So then, like, I paused the movie, ran next door into my mom's room, told her I want to have muscles, and she said, okay. And she got some old milk jugs that we had that I had finished. She filled those up with water, put them in our freezer until they were just rock solid. And I used those as dumbbells until like we had enough money to afford, I think it was like 35-pound dumbbells or something like that. Like, so yeah, so she had bought one of those, bought those dumbbells for me, but for the longest, yeah, I was just curling just the ice chunks of just milk jugs that like were just in the freezer, and those definitely did the trick. I was constantly doing as many push-ups as I could, like just throughout the day, throughout the week, after school, during the weekends, all that stuff, doing as many squats, and I was completely like working out like beyond that level. I was really doing everything I could to try to like look like Goku in that moment, like when growing up, and I definitely envied that. So it's
Yeah.
but a lot of thank yous in the Dragon Ball Z for helping me hit my body goal at the time. And then yeah, then with Naruto, it was the opening song from the Naruto from the first part before Shippuden, and it was just every one of the characters that I just loved. I love the fact it was ninjas just kind of doing ninja stuff. It was everything behind that I just loved and enjoyed so much that I was like, yo, I'm looking into this.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Naruto. So sounds like you also like the the dudes punching dudes animes, because it seems
Yeah,
to be the
and
trend,
oh,
Tsunami.
that was definitely it for me. It was definitely the common trope and trend of like of muscular guys punching other muscular guys with superpowers and super strength, like super cool. But that rom-com stuff at the time, like as a kid, I was like, keep that away. That's for girls. That's for girls who like Barbies and toys. Stay away from me. As I got older, it definitely changed, but yeah, but at the time I was very much like a huge like if it has nothing to do with superpowers and them fighting each other, I'm good. Keep it away.
So what is the thing that like draws you into anime? Is it like the tones, the overall message?
For me, it's definitely the message and the plot. Like for me, it's definitely the plot of like growing past your limits, even though like your body or whoever else in the world is telling you to stop or to slow down on what you're doing, but you yourself, know you can push even further beyond that. Like it's plots like that. It's even just the plots of finding just true love in like not even for just yourself, but even just for, someone who's been by your side the entire time. Like I said, when it came to me getting a little older, I decided to watch, which I don't know why I did this in the span of like, oh my gosh, a week and a half, I think maybe a couple of days. So I watched Your Name. No, I watched A Silent Voice on Friday night when I got off work. And then Sunday or like Monday, I watched Your Name. And why did I watch those in that time span? I don't know. I was just like, just totally in love with the story. But man, was my brain in a crying fit for like a couple of days at work. I was a mess. But yeah, but it's definitely just finding love just in the things that you do, and finding, just the same passion and the same, just like I said, like-minded people. Like even for my dress up darling, like for all the cosplayers who's watching this podcast, this is your homework that I want you all to do. Like for the time being, if none of you have watched My Dress Up Darling, please do. If for every cosplayer that's out there, it is a love language to cosplay. It is the biggest love language. It's a great rom-com. It's funny. With some etchy humor. It's fantastic. But again, like for anybody who's doing cosplay or has thought about it, watch that anime, please. It is the best love letter out there for cosplayers. But yeah, but that it's definitely stuff like that like it's just going beyond your limits and finding love in the most genuine times and the best places in your life and et cetera. It's things like that. I love, huge sucker for plots. Even more so, like there's some animes that like, I mean, do it even better than some live action shows that like we can even talk about.
100%.
100%. There's so many that like it's just out there. Like I say with anime, it's very much like what I was telling you, it's like Baskin Robbins. A lot of people always say, you look like you enjoy a rocky road. Not everyone's gonna enjoy, Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, My Hero,
Um,
like not everyone's all going to enjoy the same anime as you or the same type. Some people need to find, like, what is a genre that you like? I always tell someone, like, find what your flavor is. Because if you're more of a rom-com person, look at, like, the top 40 rom-coms. You could just Google that, top 40 anime rom-coms, and all 40 of them would be amazing topics, amazing analogies, amazing plots and emotion and felt stuff to them. A lot of amazing characters. Some that are short series, some that are a lot of episodes. Like, it's just in general, it's just I always tell people, yeah, just find like what your specific flavor is and look at that genre and have fun, because there's hundreds upon hundreds for you to select and do and watch that like some probably haven't even heard of, I'm sure. And watching them, hey, you will find a whole new like set of love for them than like you will before.
Yeah, you mentioned My Dress Up Darling. There's another one that's similar without the cosplaying making aspect, but it's a 2.5 dimensional girlfriend,
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
that. That one is, I feel, a little bit more about cosplay because there's no building stuff. It's just, hey, here's the outfit, do the poses, take the picture. And
Hmm.
I think I like that one a little bit more than My Dress Up Darling.
Hey, I understand that. That's a great one as well. That's another great one. That again, like I'm at last year's con here in Reno. Towards the end of the year, we have a con called Snafu Con, and I did a panel in which it was like learning how to like bring characters to life, like with like your posing and stuff, and it's stuff like that like will cover, or like use your surroundings, use your props, use everything you can. Even if you don't have the prop with you, like use your surroundings, use everything you can, like that's nearby and around you, to fill out like that space and that void of you really bringing that character to life. Because sure, all of us can just put on the costume and just kind of stand there for a picture and just go here, but like like if you really want to like bring that to life, like like use your surroundings, use that bench that's right there next to you, use a chair that you have at your house or something, like the table that you have or the kitchen. Like there's tons of different areas all throughout your house, or even just outside your door, that you can just set up your camera, or find a local photographer on Instagram or Facebook, social media, wherever, that you can hit up and be like, hey, like, I'm an upcoming cosplayer. I want to do a photo shoot. Like, how much is it? Or do you charge? There's some who don't, because there's some who want to grow their portfolio, because they've done, a bunch of wedding stuff and everything else but cosplay. And so, like, they want to grow that and do that for free. And so there you go. There's tons of different, like, ways to just bring that to life. But anyway, back to anime. Yeah, it's just, there's just so many that's out there that are so much like better written, that I feel like a lot of people just, well, I'll just say immature people who haven't really give anime a watch, just because again they had their ex-boyfriend or their little brother or their little cousin kind of shove an anime in their face that, like, they don't get, where it's like what are you watching? Oh, I'm on like the Boo Saga part of Dragon Ball Z. Like, they're not gonna have any freaking clue. Who's this? What's happening? What's that? What's this pink thing they're fighting?
Right.
Why screaming? What the? I don't get it. It's just a bunch of flashes in my face, a bunch of lasers doing by. I don't get it. What is this? Like, I feel like there's so many that definitely like haven't had a chance to really like dive into and really be like, well, what are you into? Dramas? Death Note, etc. Like, go down that path and come back and tell us, anime is actually pretty good. You should give it a
Right.
shot. Like, I feel like it's as easy as that.
Yeah. And then the last question before we start the anime or impressions of the animes is what are some animes you would recommend? I know you brought up Dragon Ball, you brought up Death Note, like you had to choose three to be like, all right.
I'd say for beginners, I would say Demon Slayer is one. Death Note, let's see, probably like Attack on Titan, or just a couple other animes that's similar to that. But yeah, I would say probably those two first, probably, just because again, like with Demon Slayer, it's not like that complicated of a plot for you to for you to follow. And there's
Mhm.
not that many episodes, so it's not like you can really get burnt out of it. The animation is done fantastically well on it, for you to dive in and watch and understand. It gets tragic, so of course, like, you can't be like, oh, there's gonna be some like kid stuff, like kind of like Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh. Like, no, it's like episode one, we all understand what goes down and what's gonna happen and how the tone shifts. Death Note, it's the same thing. Like, it's an amazing like crime thriller and drama where like the whole time you're figuring out like how is this ordinary person L, or not Light, L, but Light, how is he gonna get past this? How is he gonna get through the detectives? L, how is he gonna get through all this stuff in this whole crime genre, like of a fun game of guess who, basically, of just catch this. Like, what's his next step? How's he gonna get out of here? How's he gonna get through it? And it's you as the viewer to maybe take your guesses of like, there's no way he can get past this, through whatever means. Like, there's no way, and he does it. So I would say like a few of those animes that, like I said, it's not too complicated to watch. It's the plots aren't like super convoluted and doesn't tire you out. It's both animations on it are done very well. The voice acting are done incredibly well. Uh, everything with that, I'd say just dive into those. Now after those, then again, if you guys are really feeling, like I feel like I'm ready to get into like deep, like into the bones of anime, like where it's just like where I'm watching this for like months on months and months on end. And there you go. Then you have Naruto, then you have Dragon Ball Z, you have One Piece, you have My Hero, you have a bunch of other animes that just that are like really like filling up those seasons, and every single one from them
Mm,
is incredible. But yeah, I'd say definitely start out with some short ones first. That you like will get a feel for it first. So like I said, it's not completely burning you out of the whole genre. And then when you're really ready to like, take the big physical exam, then dive into those much larger animes that you probably heard 48 of your friends or 48 of your college classmates or whoever it is tell you like you should jump into that.
yeah. The one that I tend to recommend people that isn't One Piece is Mob Psycho 100. 3 seasons, short,
There
great
you go.
story.
There you go. Mob Psycho, One Punch Man. Like there's
Mhm.
so many other, like I said, just amazingly short animes like that. That, like I said, they're done so incredibly well.
Yeah. Same with Odd Taxi. If you want a thriller, what are they called? I can't pronounce it. Animals that look like humans.
Yeah, and anthropomorphic characters.
Yeah, because that one's about a dude a taxi driver who maybe killed someone, and they're trying to figure it out. But
Yeah,
the taxi driver sees everyone as animals, so he's just like, oh yeah, this orangutan was talking to me. This sheep's kind of weird.
oh,
Yeah,
oh,
that's a good one. That's only
thank you
one
for that.
season too.
Thank you for that. Okay.
So we went over some animes, and I just realized I did not write down any of the names. Uh, Here on the Knockball podcast, we're terrible with pronouncing names and remembering to even say the names. It wasn't
Yeah,
until
you're
my
right.
girlfriend like brings it up. She's like, "You should really say the names," and it's like, try, and then I forget to, and then we're just like, all right. So red guy over here, punch a blue guy, and
Yeah.
that's as far as it goes with descriptions.
Oh, yeah. That's very much me with certain animes. Like it takes me so many episodes for me to remember like their name, or else like it's literally gonna be like, yeah, what's his name? Like, red hair Spike. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
him. Yeah, he was like when me and my roommate were watching what was it, Mashal, and we were watching that, and we were like, yeah, I freaking love like red hair, spiky red hair. It looks like Hiroshima kind of, but like him, yeah, him, like love like that dynamic with him and uh light blue hair guy, not the one who loves his sister, but the other one, like the other like blue hair dude. Yeah, like exactly. Yeah. So like, there's so many like different moments like that like we'll have just talking about so many other characters.
Where is it? Okay. Which one would you want to start with first? We got shoot. What is it called? We got, I may be a guild receptionist, but I'll solo any boss to clock out on time. Or we also have something alchemist. Here we go.
Possibly the
Yeah.
greater alchemist of all time.
Yep.
I guess we can start with the first. Being a guild receptionist, like I enjoyed the comedy level of it, because she's like such like an OP MC, but I really have enjoyed like the humor behind it, because it's so relatable. Because all of us have had, or at least enough of us have had like one really bad job in general, in which all of us have just hated just working there, or just trying to think like don't worry, on Friday like I'll get off on time so I can go enjoy, the festival, or go enjoy the con for on that Friday, or whatever it is that may be going on. And then as soon as you get done with it, then you're like, hey, I'm on my way to go meet up with my friends. They all are just now leaving, or again, they just got home, about to go to sleep. And so you're like, well, I missed the whole festival, or I missed the con, or I missed whatever big event I was looking forward to this whole day while at work doing this stupid paperwork. And lo and behold, it's the same thing that like every adult, I'll just say every working adult, has definitely dealt with some amazing having to work some extra overtime. Sure, the paychecks will look nice, when you get paid again, sure, but that freedom. But your freedom, as far as really being able to go out and enjoy the weekend, is, oh my God, it's probably gone at this point.
Yeah, 100%. So do you want to do the summary for each episode, or do you want me to do it? I have the names now of the characters.
We can do a summary of each episode.
Yeah, that's typically what we do. Just that way, people who are listening, we will tell the plot, but they'll be like, I don't know, I don't think I'm gonna check it out, and then they'll watch it and be like, why didn't they say this happens on this episode? That would have
Yeah,
dragged me into the anime. But the main
I understand that.
character, her name is Clover Alan.
Oh yeah, Alina.
There we go, Alina. Uh, the second main character I would say is Scar Jade.
Yes,
And
that I
do you want to
got
know
that.
the other guys' names, like the other party members? Or are you good with just those two? Because there is a
Yeah, I think
redhead
I'm
guy.
think I'm good. Think I'm good with those two, because I feel like the others will come to me, but obviously with the plot,
Yeah, there's a
it's those.
healer, and then there's the red or the black mage. You just refer to them as that. All right, go for it.
Perfect. So how the see, my memory isn't too bad. Actually, you start with how the episode started, because
Okay,
I'm losing it right now for some reason, and I just
so
watched it again.
the anime starts with the receptionist, the main character, talking about how she is a government worker and how she gets paid her job is stable, it's always there, and she can clock out on time. That's the best part. Except for if the adventurers aren't taking care of the bosses, then she can't, because she has to stay over to do overtime. She stays late to do overtime because everyone's trying to do stuff, and the guild is pretty small. So the first episode is her just trying to get people to go take out this big dragon, and no one's been doing it. It's been over a month, so she's like, all right, I guess I gotta do it myself. So she goes to help out the silver swords, I think that's what they were
Yeah, the
called.
silver.
And the guy shows up, he's like being showboaty, being like, yeah, we got this, don't worry about your anything. And she's like, all right, just give me your ID. And he's like, but you know who I am? She's like, yeah, I do, but there's procedures we gotta follow, so just give me the ID. Takes off his helmet. You can see who I am. She's like, okay, I need your ID still. And she just keeps harping on like, just give me the ID, just give me the ID.
And,
That
and
part
that
made me
part
laugh so
itself.
hard, because it's
Exactly,
like,
because I was gonna say, in that part, I feel is, like I said, one of the most relatable, like kind of front desk, customer service jobs
mm-hmm,
ever. Of just the like when I'm here, I come here all the time.
yeah.
Yeah, but still
My
need your
girlfriend
ID,
deals with
sir.
that all the time. There'll be people, they'll be like,
Like how? Like what do you mean? I like every time I came here yesterday, or last week, and
yep,
spoke with some other guy, and they always say I'm okay to walk through. Yeah, but
I might be the other guy,
driving.
but not
Right,
me.
maybe the other guy, but I'm not the other guy. So
Yeah,
ID.
no, yeah, my when my girlfriend tells me about that, it just makes me laugh because it's like, goddamn, just listen to her. She's not asking for a lot. Just boom. Little Timmy said that I'm
Pull out the
okay.
wallet, man. Just pull out the wallet and go here, or just pull out the card. It's not that hard, man. And if you don't have it,
Mhm.
man, hey, I get it. We all either been caught in a lie with our parents, and we tried to like lie ourselves, out of the hole, but we just happen to go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. But
Mm,
don't just take your losses, man.
yeah. So the main character, there have been parts where it was like almost watching my girlfriend work because she deals with a lot of people like that, and she can't rely on her coworkers, so she has to do it herself. So again, just watching this is just like, oh, this is almost like watching my girlfriend work just without dragons and magic because there's none of that in the real life. But yeah, the episode one continues with the group of heroes finally gonna go take it out. They can't seem to do it. The main dude Jade is the tank. The guy who didn't want to give the ID was like the DPS. You have the white mage who's the healer, and the black mage who's the range character. And yeah, it looks like they're about to lose, and then here comes the main character, the receptionist, just almost one shots the dragon, and
Dang
that's when
near.
we get the exposition. Or like they call her the executioner because she can solo everything, and the main party leader, the tank bro, the Jade guy, is like, I have really good dark vision, and he was able to see who she was, and then he follows her or finds out that she's the guild receptionist and tells her like, hey, can you join us? And she's like, no, I don't want to do that. And he's like, why? You're so strong. And you have one of these divine abilities. And she's like, because there's no clocking out as being an adventurer. She's like, this receptionist, I start at 8 and I clock out at 5, but I have not been able to because you guys are not pulling your weight. So I have to do it for you. And that part also made me laugh because just
Yep.
there's been points where my girlfriend's like, I was supposed to be off at 3. It's 6 because so and so didn't want to do their job correctly. And it's just like, cannot relate because my job is 3 to 11. I leave at 11. Doesn't matter if I forgot everything. I'm only getting paid till 11, so I leave at 11.
Dang, I hear that. I hear that.
And then
Mine's saying if it ends at 5:30, I'm off at 5:30. If any of y'all have any more requests, you guys can find me tomorrow. But other than that, like once I clock out, I'm dead to the company.
yeah, so the second episode starts with the guy approaching her again, and she kind of tells him like, "Yo, like leave me alone. I'm not gonna do it. Just pull your weight." But in the process of like him kind of finding her, she smashes the little orb that came out of the dragon, and they find out that there is secret quests, and this is the first time it's happened. And the main dude, reports back to HQ being like, "Yo, so there's a chalk tower. I don't know what this is about." And she's like, "Okay, cool. You handle that. I'm gonna go back to being a guild receptionist." And then the guild uh manager comes in, and he kind of puts like, "Hey, you're the executioner." So she looks at the tank guy, and she's like, "So you snitched on me?" He's like, "We need you, bro. Like, this sounds super scary." And the guild commander's like, "Yo, bro, so you're gonna fight me, and depending on the outcome, will determine if you're gonna be an adventurer or not." So that's the end of episode 2. Episode 3, the fight happens. Her divine ability lets her get through the guild manager's like time stopping ability. He's like, all right, you're going now. And she's like, but I don't want to. You made a promise that if I beat you, you're gonna leave me alone. This gets dropped. And he's like, yeah, but imagine everyone's gonna want to go to do this, and that means more overtime for you. And she's like, yeah, okay, I don't care. And then that's when the guild dude's like, all right, how about this? You go do this one adventure, and we'll double the workers. That way, you'll never have to work overtime again. And she's like, all right, bet, I'm in. That's all she needed was the overtime. Is what was her biggest thing. Is
Yeah.
that I'm off. I'm supposed to be off at 5. It's 9 p.m. What am I still doing here? So the third episode has them going to the tower and then finding out that it's going to be a lot harder than it seems, and hopefully it's worth it for no more overtime. And that's what we are left with the first 3 episodes at least.
Is the oof, I enjoyed every bit of like her voice acting when it came to just her cracking, especially when the rock golem had came up from the dude and tossed like a rock at her house. It just
Oh,
it hurt my soul just as much as it did hers because I'm like, I get it. I get that. It seems like today is just the perfect day for her to just go to work. It seems like today was a fantastic day for her. It's just been a great time
Mhm.
since she's done this.
Yeah. I liked it, but I tend to like fantasy slash isekai animes. My other coworkers always give me shit for it because they'll be like, "That was ass. That isekai was boring. They're a potato farmer," and it's like, I don't know, guys. I think this might be anime of the year.
Hey, I get that. I mean, I can't really say like if I do have a genre that I mostly do. I think like for the time, I think like I have been kind of like slacking a little bit on isekais, or as many isekais as I should. Um, just because there are a few that I know I've definitely like taken a backseat on just because
Yeah.
of not either just the plot, but just because I'm like, there's so many and all of them become so OP and I can't watch like
Yeah.
30 of them all at the same time.
A
Like,
lot of them are the same, where it's just like, oh, I got run over by a truck. Now I gotta hear him, and now I gotta fight the Demon King, and it's like you can only do that so many times before it's just like, okay. I mean,
that's fair,
again,
yeah.
I still like it, but it's just I understand why they're not fond of peakness because
Well, of course. Right.
one of them really likes slice of life, and it's like I hate this. I don't. If I want to watch real life, I'll just go to work and watch real life.
That's fair. That's fair. There's some slice of life I probably like will take a step back from just because it's the same thing that I'm like, I don't feel like crying today. I'll save that. I'll save that for another day, or I'll save that for another week. But I'm really tired. I don't feel like crying tonight watching this episode, so I'm good.
Yeah. So overall, the this one, what was it called? Guild Receptionist Strong Enough to Solo the Bosses. I liked it. I give this like a solid 7 out of 10.
That
Would
was a good thing.
recommend.
I can make you seven.
Yeah, would recommend to people who like fantasy, where it's kind of like D&D, but not really, because I mean, I guess just the world and the roles are there, but other than that, it's just your pretty generic uh fantasy anime, where it's just like, main character super strong, has a team. Are they gonna, finish their goal? Who knows?
Yeah, but I'd say it's definitely enjoyable enough just because of the plot of seeing Alina try to clock out. Just because like we've all been there at least once, or have or like I said in your case have a partner or someone who's currently going through that exact like part of the plot that we're all like, I've been there, honey. I
Hmm.
can't wait for you to quit. I can't wait for you to do whatever you have to, but just get out of there. You deserve better.
Yeah, my girlfriend always makes me laugh because she's like, I'm ready to go home. And it's like, you haven't even left, dude. She's like, I'm ready to go home though.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you're not even in the car, dude. But yeah, do you think you're gonna continue this one? Or are you just after this week, you're like, I'm never touching this one again?
Like I at first on the first or second episode, it did take me a sec for me to really kind of like get a little bit more like into the plot, or at least like the subplots of the chalk tower and and seeing all the other demons with like their abilities and everything. It kind of took me a second, but as I continued watching, I actually did really start enjoying it more. So I definitely won't be surprised if probably after I'm done with the plot, I'll probably tune it back on and go start it. I would not be surprised.
Did you watch it dubbed or subbed?
Dub, like I
Same,
want to say like 99.8% of the animes I watched is mostly all in dub.
same.
Just because I'm also like the type of person to like scan everything. So like scan all the backgrounds, scan the art, and just do everything I can to like enjoy the anime while they're talking off screen.
Hmm.
But and also eat because I feel like when I'm watching in sub, like I have to like be glued like this and eating.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
feel like
100%.
because I feel like if I look down once and look back up, I miss like this whole sub block that's probably like this big of text. Like that's like 3 bars full of text just scam by that I didn't get a chance to watch because I was looking down biting on something.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I might wait for this to be finished, but I think I might finish this. We'll see. But to wrap up the episode, we got one more left. We got possibly the greatest alchemist of all time. The main character, bro. This is an isekai, so he dies. We don't know if Trunk Kun was around to do the job, but uh, main character dies. Uruma Takayama. He gets revived by the goddess of this world, and she's like, "Yeah, you're not supposed to be here." And he's like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "We accidentally took you, and you weren't supposed to be here. You not being here actually really messed up the order of things, so we're not doing that way of reviving people." And he's like, "Oh, okay, so then what am I going to do since I don't have a body now?" She's like, "So I'm going to send you to this fantasy world just like in your Japanese anime. I'll give you a bonus because I feel bad for accidentally bringing you here, is I'll give you my blessing." And he's like, "Okay, what does that do?" And she's like, "Well, you basically have a god helping you out a little bit, and you can talk to me a little bit." And he's like, "Okay, I guess." So he gets sent to this fantasy world, and just like isekais, he's aware of what an isekai is, and he's like, "Oh, so I guess I have magic." So he tries out magic, and he's like, "Oh, magic's pretty fucking cool." And then he's like, "You know what? But I don't want to be in I don't want to save the day. I'm not gonna fight the Demon King. I'm just gonna be something similar to a salaryman." But she's like, "We
Yeah.
don't have anything like that." And she's like, "All right, well then I'll make stuff." So he chooses to do blacksmithing and alchemy, at least for his first jobs, and ends up saving a little girl from like a unicorn rabbit. And from there, he's like slowly developing his skills and upgrading the town to the point where they came to take him to the big city because he just pretty much outgrew the small little town. It didn't even look the same. Like even the trader dude who was supposed to take him was like, "Are we sure we're in the right spot? Like there's fortifications. It doesn't look
Mhm.
like just a random goblin army can take them out." And as he's leveling up his skills, like the townsfolk kind of tell him like, "Hey, be careful when it comes to showing your abilities." One girl in particular was like, "You can purify this meat, which is real cool and real handy, but just don't do it. Don't do it around other people because just bad shit will happen." And he's like, "Okay, weird." So before he takes off, he goes to gather more stuff, and then he runs across an armored bull or boar, one shots it in the head with like I think compression magic. I'm pretty sure that's what it
Yeah.
was because he used like it was an alchemy skill. And then from there, he runs across a little spider that just joins him. He tames the spider, and everyone's like, "Normally people can't tame insects, so you're kind of weird." He's like, "Yeah, the spider's pretty cool." So they go to the big city, and he's adapting to new life. And the dude who picked him up, the trader bro, was like, saw him give the town folk this really purified mana potion. He's like, "Where'd you make this?" And he's like, "I can make these." He's like, "We'll buy you this mansion. You just have a contract with us now." And he's like, "Okay." What is he getting at? Like, he's being really nice because the guy straight out tells him like, "Actually, I'm underpaying you since you don't have a name." He's like, "I could, buy these even cheaper, but I'm not going to screw you over that much. So we'll get you this house instead." And he finds out that the main character bro made a toilet, and he's like, "So about purification, you're gonna get kidnapped by the church, and they're not gonna let you go. So we're just gonna keep this between me and you." And he's like, "Oh, okay. I didn't know that was the extent." He's like, "Just so we're clear, just make me like 100 more of these, or 10, or however many it was, and this stays between me and you. But to live in the town or the big city, he needs to join the guild, and he has to at least once a month go do a mission, which he doesn't want to do." So the trader bro's like, "So you're gonna need to get some slaves." And the guy immediately is like, "I don't want slaves." He's like, "Kind of need to get slaves, or people are gonna ask like, where are you getting this purification stuff?" And he's like, "That's kind of one of the things that we got to do." So he goes on the third episode to get some slaves, and he is being kind of weird, or I guess weird to them. He's like, "I really don't want slaves," but turns out that it's just a shitty way of saying like employed, because it didn't seem like they were really. Some of them were like forced to be there because they got kidnapped and shit, but they're like, yeah, they can buy their way out, or if you committed a crime, this is how you reform. So still bad, but not as bad as what we know in the real life of slaves.
Oh yeah, exactly. It's a,
So,
it's the anime equivalent.
mhm. So he gets two of them, one just to clean, and she's like, I'm down to work for you. I'm only gonna clean, right? And he's like, yeah, dude, only clean. And she's like, okay, so you're not gonna sleep with me, right? And he's like, what the hell, no? And she's like, okay, because I'm not gonna sleep with you, no matter what. I'm only gonna clean. And he's like, that is perfectly fine. I did not. That didn't even cross my mind. She's like, okay, so you're okay with me just cleaning, and you're willing to take me? And he's like, that is perfectly fine, bro. I was not gonna force myself on you. She's like, all right, cool, I'll come along. And then the second person he gets is like an elf girl who's like cursed, and the person who's the slave owner is like, yeah, I don't want her. She doesn't know how to fight. She used to, but she got cursed, and her left ear got torn, and her hands are crippled. But that's when the main character, bro, like sees her stats, and she's like, oh, I could fix this. He's like, yes, I want this one if she's willing to come with me. And the girl is even like, yo, I'm kind of broken. Are you sure you want to get me? Like, there's other people that are better for this. And he's like, no, you'll do. And yeah, he fixes her at the end. And definitely these first 3 episodes, I feel could have been condensed to maybe 2, because now
Yeah,
it's just, it feels like we just passed, the intro, because now the actual story is about to start. And it's like,
exactly.
I like it. So it got me hooked, but it's like for normal people, they're not going to watch the 3 episodes. So I feel like they could have condensed it a little bit just to get the ball
Yeah,
rolling a little bit faster. But
that's very true.
I liked it. I don't know about you, but I do like isekais.
I was like, I think halfway through episode 4, or again, like towards like almost the back end of episode 4. Sorry, before I paused the episode and continued on Guild Receptionist. So yes, I definitely I do agree. Like I enjoyed it, but I feel like after those 3 episodes, I was like, I feel like yeah, now the plot's getting started. I feel like some
Mm-hmm.
of it would have been kind of sped through, but I also get it because you also don't want to make it seem as if like you're just, I won't say wasting people's time, but make it seem like oh, you're just copying X anime here or X isekai.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll probably still continue watching just because I'm also like sometimes a sucker for harem anime sometimes, and the elf
That's like
girl I was
90% of isekais.
that's very true, right? It's very true. So yeah, so when it came to the elf girl, I was like, I dig her just because like I'm such like a huge like simp for like, I would say like
No.
for like elves, but I'll say like the strong, independent, like just female written characters. So like huge like Urza simp for any like fairy tale fans out there, and just like it's animes like that. So if it's like a strong character who has like just like a strong like will and is very just like I can do this all myself and like take care of these things, and that's when I'll be like, you're climbing up on my waifu meter. I like you. Keep going in the anime. Maybe I'll keep watching.
Yeah. Yeah. No. As much as like I like fantasy, I hate elves. I hate elves so much.
That's yeah.
And I think it's just because, what is it? Most elves are kind of based off Tolkien's elves, which are humans who didn't bite or didn't get temptation by the apple. I forget what it's called. The whole thing. That's
Okay.
Tolkien's in the interpretation of elves. That's why they're like, they don't age, they're beautiful, they're smart, and all that is because they didn't bite the apple like humans did. So it's a pretty big known fact in my friend group that I don't like elves. We played D&D once, and we just randomly killed a shop owner. I didn't start it, but I didn't stop. I didn't stop it from going down.
How could you?
Right? Hate crimes in D&D. Gotta love it.
Oh, that's wrong. Not the shop owner.
Right? But yeah, I really like this one. This is like a solid 8 out of 10. Would recommend to Peralta just because I know she would hate it because it's an isekai.
Yeah. I know a few friends. I probably recommend this one too. But for Guild Receptionist, I feel like I probably recommend that one more to a lot more friends just because of the job relatability to it. But I have enjoyed the watch of it though.
Sam, I'm definitely gonna finish this one. There's the other isekai that came out this year, Zinshu. That's been the one that I've been watching like week to
Yeah,
week.
my girlfriend and I think we got like 2 or 3 episodes in on that one, but for some reason we stopped, so I'll have to drag her back into the room one of these days, and uh we'll get back to watching that because I know we're a couple episodes behind on that as well.
Yeah,
But we
that's the
definitely
one.
enjoyed that.
Yeah, I watched that one week to week. It was just like, goddamn.
Ah, oh man, if you also want to talk about animation, everyone definitely give that show a shot. It is
Yeah,
incredible.
heck yeah. But that's it for now. Any closing thing you want to say before we wrap it up?
I mean, other than just thank you so much for just having me on. I apologize for anybody wearing headphones and coughing into your ear like that. I'm slowly getting over a little cold. You can't really hear it, but yeah, so just really grateful for you having me on. It's obviously such a pleasure for meeting you at Fanime. We'll be able to link up more at other cons. Eventually, we'll be doing a lot more stuff when we link up.
Yeah, definitely at Fanime. But what are your socials? That way people can I can put it on
Yeah,
the screen for people.
so you guys can follow me at Boykins Cosplay. That's BOYKINS_cosplay. And I'm on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. So all four socials. And OnlyFans, I guess, for the 18 and up folks that's out there. But if you want to exclude that, then yeah, just all four of those socials. Yeah, I'm always posting new content on new skits, new cosplays coming soon for this year and for next year. So yeah, just
All right,
keep it up.
cool. Then yeah, you'll see more of Oiskin at Fanime because we're planning on gonna be there, and we'll definitely try to get as many of us together to either get something to eat or at least do on the spot interviews because your
Yeah,
interview got messed up. Like I never
but
told you this because I was like, you know what? Maybe he doesn't remember, but I remember the mic was unplugged. So like you could barely hear you. And I've been sitting on it and I was like, I hope he never remembers. And then I just told you.
it's all good. We'll plan on doing this more. I'm always fine with re-record stuff. I'm very much if any of you guys ever meet me in any of my cosplays and stuff, you guys will still understand I'm very much the type to be very do a lot of improv whenever I'm in character. So with the mic being unplugged, to be Barrett yelling into the
Yeah, you could hear you just
folks.
fine, which,
Yeah.
background noise, but I was like, I don't want to ask you again because you were giving really great content. And I was just like, it's gonna be real embarrassing to ask, like, yo, bro, actually, my
Bro,
thumb
no,
was on the camera.
literally, it's totally fine. I don't mind that at all. Literally, I've done that a few times where we're like I've done that and then been like, damn it, sorry. Roll back the tape. We gotta do it again. I messed up
Yeah,
on a lot of those lines because
there was
I fumbled. So let's do it again. Let's roll back.
there was one of the cosplayers that we met at GalaxyCon. I'm recording the video. I just took a picture of her. There's a picture of just me and her, and she's like, "Hey, your screen turned off," and I was like, "What?" And then I look over and I was like, "Oh my god, I just took a picture. We got to do it again." And she's like, "Oh, okay." And I was like, "I'm so sorry." She's like, "No, that's fine." And I was like, so I asked her the same question. She gave the exact same answer as I was just like, I got to make sure I got to be better on this shit. That's 2 times in a year. Come on, bro.
Happen that it happens at the best, and if anything, like when you're super famous interviewer like Nardwar, like you can always look back and be like and just kind of laugh about it when you're like, yeah,
Right?
it's funny. Like I remember like when I first started, like there was so many freaking interviews I did that like I took a picture of, didn't have the mic plugged in, forgot to hit record, or I don't know, X amount of problems that was going on. Like I didn't turn on the computer or the monitor. Anything that just literally was the issue with it. Like it's just something funny you can like just look back on.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it for the episode, and we'll catch you guys next week, probably, most likely. That's it. Bye.
There